Okay, we're going to get started shortly here. I'm just going to put a poll up just to make sure you guys can see the presentation as well as hear me. So if you guys could vote on the poll, that would be really great. Okay, so we're going to get started here. So nice to be here for you guys. So excited to talk to you guys about the University of Calgary. My name is Asfa. I'm a current student. I just finished my second year, so I'm in my third year now of a Bachelor of Commerce degree with a concentration in marketing and a minor in political science. And I'm here to talk to you guys about UCalgary. So let's get started here. So first and foremost, I would just like to acknowledge the traditional territories of the people of the Treaty 7 region in southern Alberta, including the Blackfoot Confederacy, comprising of the Siksika, Piikani, and Kainai First Nations, as well as the Tsuut'ina First Nation and the Stoney Nakoda, including the Chiniki, Bearspaw, and Wesley First Nations. The city of Calgary is also home to Métis Nation of Alberta Region 3. These people and these communities have done just such an incredible job in taking care of the land. And being able to live here and enjoy my time here and go to school here has been and will continue to be a privilege. So I just wanted to acknowledge that. Looking at the city of Calgary itself, we are the #1 most livable city in North America, and we have the second lowest cost of living in Canada. So very cheap place to live while also being very, very safe. The quality of life is very high. We have the highest concentration of high-tech workers in Canada, and we are also ranked as #2 in Canada for the most small businesses. So it kind of just goes to show how much innovation there really is and how much opportunity there is to go off and start your own venture. We're home to 9 of Canada's top 100 restaurants, so the food is amazing. And we also have North America's most extensive pathway and bikeway network. I know as first-year students, especially from coming outside of the city, a lot of you might not be driving. Well, no need to worry because you can bike and walk basically anywhere. Believe it or not, Calgary is Canada's sunniest major city. We get about 333 days of sun per year here. I know everybody thinks Calgary's super cold all the time, and yes, we do have long winters, but we get a lot of sun as well. And we also have warm Chinook winds that come in the winter that can raise temperatures by up to 15 degrees. Now, looking at the university, we are home of the DINOS, and we have over 27,000 undergraduate students. We are the 6th top research university in Canada, meaning we're constantly updating our information to provide an excellent student experience. And this also means that students of all faculties can participate in research as well with the professors. Really, really great way to build connections with your professors while also building your resume. I don't want anyone to think that research is only for science majors. That's not true at all. That's what I thought in my first year, but we have research opportunities for all faculties. And our graduate employment rate is 94%, meaning it does not matter what faculty or what program you're in. As long as you complete your undergraduate degree at UCalgary, you're 94% likely to find employment after, which is a very reassuring number. Over here, we have a bird's eye view of campus. Feel free to scan the QR code just to lead you to the street view of campus. On the absolute left, we have the transit station. So the train that takes you all around the city actually takes you straight to campus. And we have several buses that take you straight to campus as well. Every student has a uni card, which is your student ID, your student card. And with that card, you have access to transit all around the city without any additional cost, which is very convenient. So if you want to take the train or the bus anywhere around the city, you don't have to pay any additional fee. Just bring your card with you and you're good to go. In the middle, we have McEwen Student Center, which is where we hold a lot of our student union events, which I'll get into in a second. And it's also where we have a lot of our services, such as the doctor's office, the pharmacy, the optometrist, mental health services, and so many more. This is also where we have Mac Hall, which is the main food court on campus. We have your standard Tim Hortons, Dairy Queen, Subway, Opa, Starbucks, and then we also have things like Korean barbecue and Vietnamese subs, so huge variety there. To the left of that is Taylor Family Digital Library. This is the most technologically advanced library in North America. So many resources there for our students, whether it's books or textbooks. It's 6 floors high. The first 3 floors are relatively sociable. The 4th floor is pretty quiet, and then the 5th and 6th floor are very, very quiet. So whether you want somewhere that's a little more sociable or you want somewhere that's completely silent to sit and study, you can find all that in TFDL. At the top, we have residence. So residence is right on campus, as you can see. There actually are tunnels that lead from residence to other buildings in campus. I was always super jealous of my residence friends because they could show up to class in winter in just a t-shirt because they didn't have to go outside to get to any other building. So again, very convenient to be able to live on campus. Last 2 things I'm going to highlight here are the Olympic Oval. So that's closer to the top right. This is our Olympic-sized skating rink. It has the fastest ice in the world. Something about where Calgary is located as a city, as well as the temperature in that facility, just makes it the fastest ice in the world. So we do have Olympic athletes coming from around the world to train on our ice, and it's open to all students to use as well. We did hold the Olympics here as well in 1988, so it's been quite some time now. But yeah, super cool facility for our students to use. And lastly, on the absolute right, we have Market Mall. So this is not on campus, but it's right by campus. It's your standard typical mall. It just kind of goes to show how everything you need is really close by. I want everyone to try their best to get involved in their first year. I think it's so, so important. A few ways you can get involved in your first year at UCalgary are through student union events. So we hold several events throughout the year. The one photoed up here is our pet therapy event. This is where we bring in dogs and puppies, and then we have the students come in to pet the dogs and hang out with the dogs. It's a way to de-stress, and it's one of our wellness events. You get to learn the stories of all the animals as well. So that one is super popular, as you can imagine, and we hold so many events like this throughout the year, so highly recommend going to them. We also have Clubs Week. So this is where all of our clubs set up a little booth around McEwen Student Center. UCalgary has over 300 student clubs, so it can be kind of difficult to figure out which ones you want to join, which is exactly why we have Clubs Week. You get to just walk around and talk to representatives from each club and figure out what each one is about and how you can join and how you can get involved. Really great way to figure out what is available to you. We also have an Emerging Leaders program. This is where we pair first-year students with third or second-year students as a way to figure out how to get involved in leadership initiatives and really put yourself out there. And then cheering on the DINOS. We have some super, super fun sporting events. I would say my top 2 favorite would be the kickoff, which is the first football game of the season. That one happens every year. There's like a barbecue and food and everything, as well as the Crowchild Classic. That one is UCalgary against another local university. So it gets super, super competitive, and that one is hockey. We also have volleyball events as well as basketball events if you're interested in those as well. Find your club. So as I've mentioned, we have over 300 student clubs, things like anime, hiking, photography, faculty-specific clubs, cultural group clubs, and so many more. Feel free to scan the QR code on the bottom right to go to our clubs list. Don't underestimate clubs because there are some very unique opportunities. I always love to mention on the top right, we have a photo of a solar car. This was built by engineering students in an engineering club. You didn't have to be in any specific class or have any specific GPA for this. They built this in a club. They entered the car in a race and they were able to beat out Harvard, which is something that'll be an asset to those students. They can talk about that with employers and put that on their resume. And again, that was just built in a club. So take advantage of clubs because there are some very unique opportunities that can come in handy in the future, as well as just are super, super fun. There's also several ways to get active on campus. Some of our amenities include the Aquatic Center, which is the Olympic-sized swimming pool, a fitness center, which is our gym on campus. It's 2 floors. The top floor has a whole track that you can run around, and then the bottom floor is your standard gym, so it has all of your machines and all of your weights. Again, with that student card, you have access to this gym without any additional cost. You basically get a gym membership just by being a UCalgary student. Super nice if you want to work out in between your classes. I would use this all the time just to sweat my stress out if I was ever stressed in between classes. We also have a gymnastics center, an Olympic oval, which I've mentioned, a racket center, which is a center where we have several racket courts in which you can play squash and racquetball, as well as the outdoor center, which is the largest of its kind in North America. Any equipment you can think of renting, you can definitely find it at the outdoor center, whether it's hiking boots, hiking poles, a kayak even. Calgary has several ski resorts nearby if you want to rent some skis, and there's also the Bow River, which is the main river that flows through the city if you want to kayak down that. And students actually do get a discount for renting, which is super convenient as well. So this is one that I'm hoping to take advantage of as well before I finish my degree. UCalgary aims to have 50% of its students take part in an international experience, meaning there's so many opportunities in so many different countries. We have opportunities in over 45 countries. I know people that have gone to Singapore and all around Europe. You get to earn credits towards your degree while you're studying in another country, all while just paying your standard UCalgary tuition and fees. If you would like to learn more about study abroad, feel free to scan that QR code on the bottom left there. We also have work integrated learning. So this is work experience at companies that are actually relevant to your degree. You get to earn an income with them and build those connections and those relationships with them. Really great way to figure out what you want to do career-wise, while again also making an income while you're still in school. This really does put you a leg up from other degree holders who may not have work integrated learning, because employers love to see that you have work experience. So being able to get that experience before you're even completed your degree is such an asset, and I highly recommend it. I'm actually currently on a work term right now. I'm working for the University of Calgary as a co-op student, and I get to travel around Canada and connect with students and give the UCalgary presentation. And it's really been helping me personally figure out what I like in terms of a career. So again, highly, highly recommend this. We have co-op opportunities for our arts and commerce students. A co-op is a work term, typically 4 to 8 months. It can be 12 months as well, in which you work with a company. Then you go back to school for a semester or a few semesters, and then you do another work term at a different company. An internship is for engineering and science students, so similar to a co-op, except it's longer in nature. It's about 12 to 16 months continuous with the same company. With a co-op, you get the opportunity to work with several companies if you would like to, but with an internship, it's with the same company. Again, same idea. Practicums are for nursing, education, and kinesiology. For kinesiology, our practicums are optional, so if you would like to do a practicum, you most certainly can, but with nursing and education, they are a part of your degree. This is where you would go into a work setting. So for education, for example, you would go into a classroom, you get to observe a teacher teaching, that eventually you would be teaching 20% of the class, and then eventually you would be teaching almost 100% of the class. And then paid research, clinical, and field experience, or community-engaged learning. Again, we have research positions available for all faculties, but heavily focused on health science, community rehabilitation, and social work programs. There's several student support services on campus, such as career services. If you need any sort of interview workshop, maybe you've never done a professional interview, or any sort of resume support, maybe you don't know how to make your resume better, or you don't know if it's professional in general, or maybe you would like one-on-one career advising. We have all of that available for you at Career Services. No one expects you to have your entire career figured out right now, or even when you're in university, which is exactly why we have that one-on-one advising for all students. Very, very beneficial. We also have a financial aid office, which is a big one for a lot of students. If you would like any sort of resources for applying for funding, maybe you don't know what is available or you don't know how to apply for funding, check out the financial aid office. There's also educational workshops, such as how to be more smart with your money. I'm going to highlight 2 more. I'm going to highlight the Student Success Center. This one is in Taylor Family Digital Library. If you need any sort of writing support, academic advising, or peer-led study sessions, you can find all of that in Taylor Family Digital Library. Academic advising is there for you as well, which is a really great one to take advantage of. And lastly, student wellness services. We care about your mental health too, of course, and your physical health. So if you need any sort of counseling, medical services, or even just a registered dietitian, UCalgary has all of that available for all students as well. As I mentioned, we are home of the DINOS. We have several teams such as basketball, soccer, field hockey, football, hockey, rugby, and a few more there. If you want to learn more about becoming a DINOS student athlete, you can learn more at godinos.com. If you follow that link, you'll be able to actually contact the coaches directly and speak to them directly. So yeah, godinos.com if you are interested in becoming a student athlete. Living on campus. So I am from Calgary, so I never personally lived on residence, but I have a lot of friends that do/still do live on campus. So I was always in the rooms, and it's so much fun. Everyone gets super close. Everyone's just trying to have a good time and do well in school and help each other out. There's so many activities like theme nights and community dinners that happen. Everyone that I know that has lived on residence is still friends with their residence friends because the community is just such a close one. It's such a great one to be a part of. You have to apply by May 1st, 2022 in order to guarantee 2 years of residence if you are planning to attend UCalgary in fall 2022. And we do have a double and single rooms available. If you have someone in mind that you would like to share a room with, that's great. State that on your application. You will hopefully be able to share a room with them. But if not, we have a roommate matching service. Which is basically like a questionnaire that you fill out, and then we match you with your quote-unquote perfect roommate if you would like to be matched. So no need to worry about having a completely different lifestyle to them because we do match you if you would like to be matched. The meal plan is all you can eat. I've been to the dining center a few times, which is where the resident students get their meals. And they do have a very large variety of food. They switch it up like every day. They also have a huge variety of dessert. I don't know if anyone likes dessert like I do, but they have a huge variety of that as well. And there are halal, vegetarian, and gluten-free menu options available. We have 8 distinct faculties. I'm going to put up a poll here just to see which faculties you guys are interested in. So feel free to vote on the poll if there are any specific programs. Faculty of Science. Okay. So I'm going to briefly go over all of them, but then I will focus on the science faculty because we do have some science interest here. So first and foremost, we have the Faculty of Arts. As you can see, this is our largest faculty, anything from political science and law and society to things like psychology, visual studies, film, dance even, French and other languages. It's a very, very broad faculty. We have, again, co-op opportunities available for all of our art students. Which again, this is work experience at companies that are relevant to your degree. The admission requirements for the Faculty of Arts is dependent on which program you would like. So it does differ slightly depending on which specific program you're interested in. The Haskins School of Business. So this is my faculty. There's 14 different concentrations you can choose from, things like marketing and real estate to things like accounting even and finance. There's also a general business concentration. If you don't want to specialize in anything specific, you don't have to. There's a general business concentration available in which you can try a little bit of everything. Again, co-op opportunities available for all of our business students. The admission requirements for business is the same regardless of which concentration you would like, and you do pick your concentration straight from high school, but the admission requirements are the same across the board. The Faculty of Science is a fairly broad faculty as well. We have things like biochemistry, biological science, and computer science, and then also things like mathematics and zoology even. Internship opportunities for all of our science majors. Again, highly recommend taking advantage of that. The admission requirements for science, similar to arts, is dependent on which specific program you would like to take. We have a Cummings School of Medicine as well. Something to note is that this is not med school. You do have to complete an undergraduate degree in order to go into med school, and you can actually complete any undergraduate degree. But we do have 2 bachelor's degrees within the Cummings School of Medicine. We have the Bachelor of Community Rehabilitation as well as the Bachelor of Health Sciences. Both of these bachelor's degrees are heavily research focused. So if you are interested in research and you see yourself pursuing a career potentially in research, then I would recommend those. But again, if your goal is med school, then you can actually complete any undergraduate degree. Faculty of Nursing. So we have a nursing faculty as well. We do have a practicum included with our nursing degree. So this is where you go into a work setting and you get to observe other nurses, and then eventually you would be participating in the work, all while you're still completing your degree. So it is a fairly hands-on program, which is super unique. Brooklyn School of Education. So there are actually 3 distinct pathways you can choose from. There's your 4-year campus base, which is your 4-year standard degree in which you would come to campus and complete your degree. There's a 5-year combined degree. So let's say you would like to teach, but you're not 100% sure, or maybe you do want to teach, but you also want to broaden your career opportunities. The 5-year combined degree may be for you. This is an education degree combined with a second degree, and you get both these degrees within 5 years. Your second degree can be a dance degree, something fine arts related, a mathematics degree, biochemistry, you name it. There's a whole list you can choose from. But yeah, that's 2 degrees within 5 years. And then we also have the 4-year community-based education degree. So if you're from a more rural or remote area and you would like to stay in your area and be a teacher there, you can participate in the 4-year community-based degree. This is where most of your classes would be online, and you would be able to stay in your the area that you're in, so your remote or rural area, study there, and then eventually be teaching in that area. We also have the Schulich School of Engineering. There's 7 different majors to choose from. Something to note is that you do not pick your major in your first year. You pick it after your first year. First year engineering is common, so you get to try a little bit of everything. And then after your first year, you get to actually pick which one you like. So super nice. You get to kind of try everything before you even have to decide. And again, internship opportunities for all of our engineering students. And then lastly, we have the Faculty of Kinesiology. So this is the #1 sports science school in North America. We do have a human performance lab in which we've done so much research and have developed so many things, such as David Beckham's soccer cleats, which is super unique. And then the NFL actually donated a few $1 million to us to participate in doing concussion research for them as well, which was also a super cool opportunity for our kinesiology students. So now that we know a little bit about all the programs, let's get into how to apply. So the application fee is $125 for applicants with Canadian credentials and $145 for applicants with international credentials. You're eligible to apply for 2 programs. We always recommend applying as early as possible. Applications for fall 2022 opened on October 1st, 2021. So it's been a month now, and they close on March 1st, 2022. Oftentimes what students do is that they wait closer to the deadline to apply because they want to wait till all their grade 12 grades are in. And although their average is really great, they don't get in because the program is already full. So again, apply as early as you can. We don't just look at you once and then throw you out. We look at you multiple times as your grade 12 grades begin to come in. So just apply as soon as you can. Admission is competitive, and it's based on 5 faculty-specific high school subjects. Something to note is that if you are an Indigenous student, I just want to emphasize how important it is to state that on your application. Feel free to scan this QR code if you are an Indigenous student, just to see all the benefits for applying through the Indigenous application process. There are several different application processes that you can use as an Indigenous student. You can also take part in the Indigenous graduation and participate in several Indigenous events as well. So I highly recommend stating your Indigenous status on your application if you are an Indigenous student. So your transcripts are due and must be uploaded to your student center by March 15th, 2022. I recommend doing this as soon as you apply. We cannot evaluate you until you submit your transcripts. So even if you apply to UCalgary in, let's say, November, but you don't submit your transcripts until March, we won't be able to evaluate you until March because we do need those to evaluate your application. So highly recommend just doing that as soon as possible, but the deadline for them is March 15th, 2022. All you have to do is log into your student center, which you will have access to after you've submitted an application to UCalgary. Let's say you've achieved some sort of excellence outside of academics. Maybe you're a really, really great athlete, or you've done some really great volunteer work around your community. Maybe you've gone through some sort of personal injury that has caused your grades to suffer. For example, maybe you've broken your back, or maybe you've gone through a loss in your family, like a death in your family. If any of those situations apply to you, you can apply through diverse qualifications. You just state that on your application. This is no guarantee of admission, but the option is there for you. We evaluate these on a case-by-case basis. Yeah, we do understand that not everyone's grades can be perfect all the time for legitimate reasons, and we do recognize that. So diverse qualifications is an option available for all students that are applying. So once you get in, what does that mean? It means your offer is conditional as long as you maintain certain things. So number one, you have to maintain your average. Do not let your average drop after you get in significantly, because you may get your offer taken away. Number two, you have to complete the required courses. So those 5 high school courses that you've applied to us with, you must complete those. Number three, submit any outstanding documents. Again, your transcripts are due on March 15th, 2022. And lastly, you have to actually graduate from high school. I'm going to go over scholarships, bursaries, and awards. I don't want everyone to think that scholarships and awards are only academically based and are only for students with high grades. We have awards based off of several different things, as well as bursaries that are based off of simply financial need. I'm going to go into automatic awards. So if you're an entering first-year student with admission average of 95% or greater, you automatically receive $5,000. You don't apply for that. This is automatically given to you. And if you're an entering first-year student with an IB diploma score of 35 or greater, you automatically get $2,000 from UCalgary. We also have prestige awards. These are our higher monetary value awards. As you can see, they range from $60,000 to $100,000. These ones do take a few hours to apply, again, because the monetary award is quite high, and these are based on your grades. I would say if you have about an 85% or higher, look into prestige awards. You may qualify for some. The applications open up on October 1st for all of our awards, and the deadline for prestige awards is December 1st, 2021. So in about a month now, that's your deadline. Again, they are slightly time consuming, so I recommend just looking into them as early as you can if you do think you qualify, because the monetary value is very, very high, can be so nice in funding your education. And then we have high school entrance awards. So these are our awards that are based off of several different factors. For example, the first one up here, the Chi Young Lee Memorial Award, preference for this one is given to students that have done extracurricular activities that contribute to your school. If you've done that, then that's potentially $600 right there. These ones are due on March 1st, 2022, so you have some time still before these are due. And again, they opened up on October 1st, 2021. Same as admissions and same as prestige awards. You can start applying for awards right after you've submitted an application to UCalgary. You do not have to wait till you've been accepted. You can start applying for them right after you've submitted an admission application. Again, these ones are based off of so many different things, and they take about 15 minutes each. They're more like a check, yes, no type of application. So highly recommend looking into these as well. There are also several external awards available. If you would like to look at awards outside of just what UCalgary offers, you totally can. 2 key providers are Universities Canada as well as the Calgary Foundation. Just go to ucalgary.ca/awards and you will be able to access external awards as well. And then lastly, UCalgary offers government student loans. These are available to Canadian citizens or permanent residents who are studying full or part-time at a post-secondary institution. It's only one application to be considered for both federal and provincial loans, as well as a variety of grants. So if you are interested in student loans, UCalgary has that for you as well. This is a rough estimate of what your tuition may look like in your first year. Tuition is about $6,166 and up. Your fees, books, and supplies is about $2,295 and up. But we do have a used bookstore that you can also check out. So that fee does fluctuate. I also recommend waiting till after your first week of classes to get your textbooks, because oftentimes your professors will let you know that they don't want you to get specific textbooks, or you don't actually need specific textbooks. So that fee does tend to fluctuate depending on how you go about it. And then residence, meal plan, and all of your living expenses do add another $11,000. Your situation could be different. We do have a cost estimator on our website. If you search up UCalgary Cost Estimator, you will be able to find it, or follow the link down here and scan the QR code, which will take you straight to it. It'll ask you questions like what program you're interested in, whether you want to live on residence, etc. And then it'll give you a more accurate representation of your specific scenario. I'm just going to highlight some important dates here. So again, October 1st, that's when everything opened up. That's when undergraduate applications opened up, as well as the awards application. December 1st is the deadline for prestige awards. January 1st is the application for residence. That's when it opens. So the application for residence opens up on January 1st if you would like to apply to live on campus. March 1st is the deadline to apply to UCalgary for your undergraduate degree. It's also the deadline to make a change to your program of choice on your application. If you've applied in, let's say, November, and then in February you decide you want to change your application, you can do that, but you must change it before March 1st, 2022. And this is also the deadline for those high school entrance awards that I mentioned. March 15th, again, the deadline to submit your unofficial transcripts to your student center. May 1st is the deadline to accept your offer. If you do not accept your offer by May 1st, it will get taken away. And lastly, June 30th is the deadline to complete that 5 high school courses that you've applied to UCalgary with. So those 5 courses that you need for admission, you must complete those by June 30th, 2022 if you're planning to attend UCalgary in fall 2022. Just to wrap everything up, 5 reasons to choose UCalgary. Number 1, excellence in academics. UCalgary really does pride itself in attracting high-achieving students. Number 2, the research opportunities. Again, being the 6th top research university in Canada, the opportunities here there's so many. Really great way to connect with your professors. Your professors can be such great references for you in the future if you would like to go to grad school, or even if you're finding employment in the future. Really nice to have that reference there. Research is also such a great way to build your critical and analytical skills as well as your writing skills. And you can also be potentially earning an income while you're researching with your professors. Opportunities are available in all faculties, as I've mentioned, and it looks really great on your resume as well. So really nice that UCalgary has opportunities for research in all faculties. Number 3, a caring community. It really is a very diverse community. I would ask anyone for directions in my first year, and everyone was always super willing to help and super kind. Number 4, the opportunity to earn while you learn. Again, gaining that experience at companies that are relevant to your degree is such a great asset to have, and it really does put you a leg up from other applicants that may not have this experience. And again, being able to make an income while you're studying is very convenient as well. And lastly, an adventurous lifestyle. There's so much to do in both on and off campus. Calgary is such a lively city. So many great restaurants, both on and off campus. Again, so many ski resorts nearby. There's also the Calgary Stampede that happens every summer, which is like a whole carnival. If you would like to see any upcoming events or sign up for a campus tour, feel free to go to that link or scan the QR code here. We are still doing in-person tours if you are interested in that, but there are virtual tours available as well. Also, make sure you follow us on all of our socials. We have the Choose UCalgary Instagram, Facebook, YouTube, as well as the podcast. I always recommend listening to the podcast if you want to know what is significant about each faculty and what are the highlights of each faculty, as well as differentiating between each faculty. The podcast is super, super great to listen to, just to really give you a clear idea and clear picture about what each program or faculty has to offer. If you would like to connect with our Indigenous recruiter, Mackenzie, this is her contact email. It's indigenous.recruiter@ucalgary.ca. And then lastly, if you would like to stay in touch, feel free to scan this QR code. I'll leave this one up here for a second. It will keep you posted on important deadlines that are coming up, so highly recommend scanning this one. Do we have any questions? If you would like to leave them in the chat, feel free to do so. Okay, I'm going to flip this to this slide here. It looks like we don't have any questions in the chat right now. If anyone does have any questions later on, make sure you contact me at northern.recruiter@ucalgary.ca, and I will get back to you and answer all of your questions. But thank you for joining me. I hope it was helpful. Yeah. Our first year's guaranteed residence. You have to apply for residence by January 1st. If you miss the application, then you're not guaranteed residence. But if you do apply in time, then you should be good to go for residence. Again, they open on January 1st, and then you have to apply by May 1st, or by May, in order to guarantee 2 years. Okay, it looks like that's all the questions we have, so I'm going to end it here. Again, thank you so much for joining me. Oh, another question. Okay, so you are guaranteed first and second year residency. Yes, you're guaranteed first and second year residence, again, if you apply by May. But you do have to apply. It's not guaranteed automatically. Again, they open on January 1st, 2022, if you are planning on attending university in fall 2022. Okay, no worries. I'm glad that was helpful. Okay, I'm going to end the webinar here. Again, thank you so much for joining me. Hopefully you guys apply, and I hope that was helpful. Again, any future questions, feel free to send them to northern.recruiter@ucalgary.ca. And have a good rest of your day.